Okay, we have game 3 on the kingdom here, and it jumps out to me straight away that it's Villa and Menagerie. So last game I completely missed out on all the Villa tricks, but this time, this one just it seems obvious, Put all your treasures in play, buy Villa, return to action phase, then play Menagerie with little to no cards in your hand. So seems rather simple. Oasis can help with the Menagerie triggers, of course. But most of all is Villa. So I am going to open with a silver and an oasis here because I want to get a 5. Haggler looks nice. Um, there are a couple trashing options on the board, Apprentice and Trading Post. So I'm looking to get one of those. So when assessing your decision on which of those trashers to go for, Apprentice is nice because it could draw a little bit when you trash estates and maybe help Menagerie trigger, but I think the trading post is better. Already here on turn 3 I'm going to pick up Menagerie. That's how busted Villa is. It could enable that kind of play. So my opponent does the same actually, following the same opening as well, Oasis Silver. So I think about the Apprentice, but the trading post I think is better now because one, it trashes 2 cards, so you have greater control of manipulating the cards in your hand. Apprentice will only trash 1. 2, it gives back a silver, and you need money to buy a villa, and it's a lot easier when you have a couple silvers in your deck rather than just coppers, which the Apprentice will leave. So I go for the trading post, my opponent agrees, and all 3 costs from here on out are going to be menageries, because very soon I'll show you, if you haven't already figured it out, the kind of crazy interaction Villa and Menagerie have. So here, excellent opportunity to show you. By Villa. Villa comes to hand, and then look at this, Menagerie will trigger, woohoo, and then I get stupidly lucky here. Then I get stupidly lucky here. This is not right, like that's not fair. 3 Menagerie triggers? You serious? I mean, come on, man. That's not that's not proper. Anyways, so here I have a lot of money. So what I could do is buy Villa, but I'm not going to do that because the 10 villas are very valuable to help me trigger my menagerie. So I don't want to buy one if I don't have to. Instead, I'm going to get a Haggler on all of that money. So I'm looking to do something like buy Villa Haggle Menagerie, or buy something more expensive than Villa Haggle Villa. There's an argument there to picking up Expand instead, but I think the Haggler is actually just a touch more powerful on this board. Touch more powerful. I'm not entirely certain here. But on the my opponent summons a Menagerie there. I'm not entirely sure if that's a good idea. Maybe they have tracked their deck to know that it will trigger, but I don't know. Anyways, I get again lucky here. But the luck stops, right? No more Menageries to find, no Haggler or anything. So I'll just clean up an estate and a copper here, pick up some money. I could summon a Menagerie, but I think buying 2 of them is just way better than summoning it. Trying to go very hard at a Menagerie split. Now with these villas, right, I have a lot of control and the trading post has come through for me, trashing a couple times already. So my opponent did also pick up an Apprentice at some point. Not really sure when that happened, but as it turned out, Haggler is incredibly good here. After I picked up the Haggler, I noticed the expand, so I did want an expand as well. The trading post, for example, will soon become obsolete, and again, just more hand manipulation you could do with the expand around, right? So my opponent, I believe, actually comes up here and picks up, yeah, Haggler here, and look at this. Why did Uncle Donald invent this card? Probably not him personally, but look at this, man. This is crazy. And the money you don't spend is not wasted. It still stays in play, right? So Yeah, I get the expand, haggle the villa. Villa comes to hand because it works on gain, not just on plus buy, and then I can trigger my turn. Brilliant stuff, absolutely brilliant stuff. I'm going to make sure and take the last two menageries here. Certainly going to make sure I get the two menageries here. So I pop this trading post into a Haggler. Second Haggler is going to be beautiful. All that gaining is just going to make this game come to a very quick conclusion. And 7, I think about stupid things like Villa Menagerie or summoning a Villa or something, but you just have to take the two menageries here. I feel anyway. It just makes your deck a lot better. Yeah, something stupid like Walled Village, or what I can do, or what I have to do here actually is haggle stuff. So that's what I was thinking about. So I do get Walled Village into Menagerie, and then I take the last Menagerie and pick up a curse. Instead of haggling a copper, I haggle a curse. Again, just for the unique purposes, right? Just for the unique purposes. It'll help my Menageries trigger a little bit more reliably. So here, look, that could have been 2 coppers, but guess what? It was copper and curse, and the Menagerie went off. So very happy about that. My opponent now gains the noble, so that's the other source of draw on the board. Not insignificant at all. Not insignificant at all. So I'll just have to keep an eye on that. He also has a second Haggler by this point, so same number of gains for us. Here I decide to stop and go for a Villa play here. That's probably not the best thing to do in the world. I would have liked to play my Hagglers first, then to go buying things, but oh well. And here, this was a little bit inefficient. I could have done a touch better by, buying things. Like I could have, for example, bought something like Haggler, then bought Villa. So the Haggler would be in the discard pile, the Villa would come to hand, I would be able to play my Menagerie, get the third Haggler into play, and then, gain more things and uh, be in a much stronger position. Here, I wasn't really thinking too much. I just picked up on nobles because I realized I was kind of short on the draw, even with the lion's share of the menageries. So I picked up a couple nobles and started to realize, piles are kind of low, so just like go buy stupid things like apprentices and walled villages. I did get some oases there. Not entirely sure about the oases, and I was a little bit concerned here that my opponent might be able to pile out. It's pretty difficult to track the number of gains here because you could stick your hagglers and play, buy things and gain a villa somehow, and then go back and buy again, go back and maybe buy one more time. There's also expand floating around. This turn here from my opponent I think is very instructive. He makes quite a strong play. I was pretty worried at the end of his turn here that I screwed things up and I didn't make full use of my 16 on 3 buys last turn. He actually ends up getting 3 provinces here. I didn't even know he could do that. How did you even how? So he expands into 1 for sure, but then he manages to buy 2 or something, and then he gains a bunch of expands off of his hagglers. I'm sure he was searching for a win here. Perhaps he didn't have one. Perhaps, I'm not entirely sure. We are tied on points right now, but that's only because of the curse I bought, right? I would have felt pretty sick if he won by a point just because I had a curse in my deck. Anyway, so yeah, he expands, he buys a province, gains an expand on a villa, and then draws the expand that he just gained, and he's gonna expand a couple things, I believe, into provinces. So he's already purchased 1 province, and he's gonna expand into another and then buy a 3rd one, haggling a couple of expands along the way. So yeah, there goes the trading post into a province, and he has enough money, just enough money, to pick up province number 3 and a couple of expands along with it. So pretty scary stuff for me here. I actually can't really give my opponent another turn, otherwise he could put himself in a position that is guaranteed winning here, guaranteed winning. So I have to look for opportunities to end the game. I have an extra haggler to my opponent, which I think is extraordinarily valuable. On the other hand, he does have quite a few expands, but he just gained them, so he won't be able to use it. if I don't give him another turn, right? So I think all things here start with me playing Villa, Haggler, and putting these silvers into play. The question is what to gain with it. I think I go for another expand and something. Not entirely certain that I'll draw through the deck either here, right? Have I could draw into a bunch of crap with this menagerie, so I have to be kinda conservative on this buy phase here as to what I gain to not lower piles too much. So I go for the expand and another villa. I need the villa to keep things rolling, and well, luckily enough we didn't draw into junk. Menageries are triggering like crazy people, which again I find unreasonable, but maybe I just have a poor estimation of how my deck is built or the power of Menagerie. So again, another stop and think phase. The Menageries are fairly easy, I feel. You just play them because you need to see your options. You need to see your options. So I have a couple nobles here. I could draw with those. I know I have an expand in my discard pile, so maybe I'd like to see that. Apprentice is something to think about if I want to draw things in a pinch, maybe. But I could also keep the Apprentice to expand into a province. Look, you see there was copper craze, right? That could have been copper, and that would have been some problems. So I spent an absolute age here trying to figure out if there was a way for me to win, and I couldn't actually come up with 100% solution in my head. Eventually, my opponent was waiting, although he said, you know what, take your time, I don't have any problems waiting. But, you have to move on with the show here, and I kind of just got confused and tangled in my head. I suppose this is another exercise for you. If you want, you could pause the video, think about the game state, and see what is the most elegant way to win. I do eventually find one, but it's not pretty. Well, not pretty, but I didn't I didn't have it thought out from the very beginning when I started to go expanding things. So I'm not sure if I could take 5 provinces out of the pile. The expand that I gain this turn is at the top of the deck because, if I had it in my hand, that would be too easy, right? That would just be way too easy. So that's there. What I eventually come up with is to do some kind of weird concoction play. So I'm going to gain a few things, and my plan is to draw it up with nobles. So I know there's expand at the top of the deck, so if I was, clear in thought, I would have just put 2 things into the discard pile, which is not possible right now, but I could put things in the discard pile to ensure that I drew perhaps, expand and Margrave, which I end up getting, so that I can expand the Margrave into another province. So I could have done something like, by province, and then haggle 2 things, which would have been something like maybe expand and Margrave. So either way, I'm guaranteed to get another expand target, if that makes any sense, if I'm being clear at all. But I messed things up. I put too many things into the discard pile here. And when I eventually go around with the nobles, I didn't find the expand and the Margrave. And that made me sad. It made me think that I screwed up the ending here, which I thought I had a win. It was just for me to stop and figure it out. But then I realized that, well, I have another avenue to win here because, yeah, Villa is busted and has a very unique mechanic that allows you to do things that you would not ordinarily be able to do in a game of Dominion. So I'm going to expand this, expand into our province here to take the points lead, and then Haggler is going to let me empty the piles by buying Villa and haggling OACs. So that was my win after 20 minutes of thought. What's yours? If you have a better way, you can let me know in the comments below. Alright, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in game 3. I won this one because I got lucky with the menageries. That's it. That's just unfortunate for my opponent. Anyways, see you.